goodness. And speaking of that, and that unique desire that we have to solve puzzles and to team build and to relationship build and to work together, and we're social people. And then you have your consulting uh, as well. How were you able to take all of those skill sets and apply it back into your, that you're growing and you're utilizing PMI Rochester as well, and the education opportunities there, and then bringing your experience and expertise to that? How did that also help inform, or vice versa, your consulting career, in which you talk about being in many different companies and different cultures, which a lot of project managers work through?
Yeah. Being a people person really helps, because any new company you go to is going to have a different type of culture,
Mm-hmm.
a different organization structure, a different, even politics.
Mm-hmm.
But as a consultant, it's a unique situation where you stay out of the politics if you're smart. You set boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of say, hey, you're paying a bunch of money for me to come in and share my expertise. So it's to your benefit to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And we work as a team to say what fits, what doesn't, because what I did somewhere else may not work here.
Yes.
But understanding the dynamics and the culture and what the problem is and what it is they truly need to solve
Mm-hmm.
before we start trying to solve it.
That's some great advice. And if you are, I think we have a webinar coming with you at some point, a consulting webinar, because all these other questions are coming into my head. I'm like, oh, we'll table it and we'll come back to it. But I'm sure several of our viewers who are going to be watching this later are going to be like, wait a minute, I want to know more. What if I don't have any time for discovery? What if they just say, just do it? What do I do? So you don't have to answer that right now, but it's those kinds of, and that's where this is a master class, and definitely speaking with all of the past presidents. I want to get back to your journey. When did you leave Rochester? Because you're in Tampa now, right?
Well, I left Rochester 2007. Citibank decided to consolidate IT for all of North America for Consumer Bank. Student loan was, at that time, student loan was part of Consumer Bank.
Mm-hmm.
So we were actually JD'd, job discontinued, and said, you can have your job in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Irving, Texas, or Jacksonville, Florida. My husband was already retired at the time, and I figured Jacksonville, Florida, golf, yeah.
Maybe, sunshine.
So that's what happened. We sold our home in Rochester. We moved to Jacksonville. And I was then part of North America IT for Consumer Bank, but I was part of the process team.
Okay.
So I became part of the process team that owned the SDLC for Consumer Bank. And it was 9 business units that had been merged into North America IT.
Okay.
So it was quite a change, and we had to standardize the SDLC across those 9 business units.
Okay.
So we had a team in Jacksonville that was in charge of doing that and keeping it updated and communicating about the process and what governance would measure adherence to the process and compliance. And it was quite challenging and quite interesting.
And that's where the people skills came right out.
Yes, yeah, people skills and the solid process skills, because the basis for a software development lifecycle is project management end to end. So we actually created a project management standard and then a development lifecycle standard to cover the end to end. What's done, when is it done, who does it, roles and responsibilities, reporting, governance, all that stuff. So Yeah, it
Vacation
was,
line.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I interrupted there. You were about to say, unfortunately.
Oh, unfortunately, by 2010, I was going through a divorce, and a job opportunity came up in Singapore for Citibank Singapore, and it was with their process group. And Consumer Bank was in the midst of globally standardizing the project management and SDLC process. So I applied for that job and I got it. So, yeah, nothing like getting divorced and moving across the world. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But Singapore, wow.
Yeah.
How long
Yeah.
were you there for?
6 years.
And you were working with
6 years.
international teams.
Yes. Yes. There was a process team in Singapore that actually had already standardized, and they went by COBIT. I don't know if you're familiar with COBIT, but they had created a COBIT document covering all IT processes, including lifecycle, software lifecycle, that both LATAM, EMEA, and Asia followed. And they had an online tool for project management that they had all adopted. So they were already
Wow.
consolidated. And then I was bringing my experience with North America and totally different tool, different process as written,
Mm-hmm.
and in hopes that we could merge the two and respect the work they had done
Mm-hmm.
for the other regions, merging it with the North America region. So lots of challenges there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I had a fantastic team in Singapore, Chinese, Filipino, Korean. It was just an amazing opportunity, and it took me about 9 months to really get to know
Mm-hmm.
the team and to feel comfortable leading the team. But in that 9 months, I had a great supportive, helping me, teaching me,
Yes.
so worked out quite well, actually.
That is, what a story. I mean, not only all of the challenges that come into, there's already a built and established process, and you're coming in and instituting change. And anytime there's change management, ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
That is
it
definitely
was.
a tough one.
It was really difficult to make the team in US understand that there were so many differences with having a process that needs to work in 50 some countries
Mm-hmm.
and not just one country.
Right.
From a regulatory, legal perspective, business perspective, it was night and day. And I remember being on a call with someone in US. What do you mean by regions? I mean, to them, US was a region, but
Right.
US is US, right? I mean, they weren't even working with Mexico or Latin America yet
Not in
in
the
US.
Americas.
Yeah,
Oh my
because that was
goodness.
our LATAM region.
Right.
So it was a learning experience on both sides, to say the
Wow.
least, and a lot of communication and compromise and
Mhm.
explanations were required to move forward.
Cultural education, I'm sure, but
Yeah,
what a great opportunity to build relationships with
yeah.
folks you never would have been in touch with. I